people who are looking at silver names. Could you walk through exactly what they're getting in Defiance? Well, hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for Arcadia Economics. And I'm excited because today we'll be talking about Defiance Silver, which is a silver company that I learned about last year and is actually a new sponsor to the show. So appreciate their involvement. And also one of the things that brought me to their booth, always looking for investments where when silver finally rises, which I still do very much believe is going to happen. The way I've looked at it is I've wanted projects that are run by people that know what they're doing, are trusted in the industry, that I can get to know and basically let them do their thing and go out digging, and I get the leverage to silver. So excited to be joined today by Douglas Cavey and Chris Wright of Defiance Silver, because I think you guys really do fit in that profile. And I appreciate you coming on to give investors a little bit of an idea of the company and what they're getting. So welcome on in, Chris and Doug. How are you today?
Good. Thanks for having us, Chris. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And Doug, pleasure to have you here today as well. So Chris, perhaps you could start. I mean, obviously there's a lot of mining companies out there. Can you give people an overview of specific to Defiance Silver? A lot of the people who are watching are already looking for silver exposure, and what should they know about what you guys are offering?
Yeah, well, to start, Defiance Silver is a Mexico-focused exploration development company. We have two standalone projects. One is our Zacatecas Silver Project, which is located right smack dab in the middle of Mexico. The other is our Tapal Gold Copper Project, which is located southwest on the more towards the Pacific coast, about 4 hours southwest of Guadalajara. And yeah, so we got two exploration assets with a significant resource at Tapal, 1.8 million ounces of gold, 800 million pounds of copper, and Tapal, or sorry, San Nicasio is or Zacatecas is a very interesting silver asset that came to us with a 17 million ounce starter resource, and we've got an active drill program on that, and it's moving ahead very nicely, and we're looking to add some ounces there.
Well, I appreciate that, Chris. And Doug, as the geologist of the team, what did you find interesting that led you to dedicate your career towards exploring this area?
Well, and I'm not the sole person on this technical team here. We have a very deep group of technical expertise working here. In fact, our principal geologist is Jennifer Roskowski, and our in-country technical team are built up of a team of world-class explorers and developers with years of experience. And that's really what got me interested in working in exploration, is being able to be part of these huge teams of incredible amounts of knowledge and expertise, and taking something that oftentimes is at its infancy or just being nudged along, and then really being able to sink your teeth in it in both a state of exploration, but as well a little bit of flavor of academia or really hardcore technical science. And our exploration and technical team here have done exactly that. So when we were presented with the opportunity to work here in Zacatecas and in Mexico, we jumped on it. We have a lot of years of experience, about 25 years of experience with our company, Orquest, working here in Mexico. But then between our team and our in-country technical team, over 100 years of cumulative operating experience here in Mexico. So really great opportunity to hone or to take those pretty honed skills and sharpen them a little bit more on an asset that really has seen a paucity of modern exploration. So it's been a really great run right now.
Yeah, and Chris, it's interesting to hear that, especially because you've come from the investment side. You're one of the largest shareholders, so perhaps you could touch on what you saw with Doug and the other people involved in the group that made you feel comfortable and got you involved in the project.
Yeah, sure, Chris. We actually got involved with Defiance back as far back as early 2014. Which was a very different time for the junior mining space than we're seeing right now. It was a very difficult time, and money was hard to come by. Defiance was in very similar shape to a lot of junior mining companies, and was finding it hard to keep things moving forward. So we actually came in and we really liked their flagship asset at the time, which was the Santa Casia Silver Project, which the company still has, and that's where Doug was referring to the drilling. That's what where we're actively drilling now. So we decided to make an investment. We actually took a majority stake in the company back in 2014, really with an eye to help shepherd the company through the bear market, which admittedly turned out to be a lot longer and deeper than we expected. So it was a little bit, we had to roll our sleeves up a little bit more than we were planning, but we did what we had to do to get through, and thankfully we did, because we really do have a couple of great projects, and really we think the future is very bright for Defiance Silver.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, certainly it was a challenging time the last couple of years, but for the people, I mean, I guess it's better to be looking at silver stocks today than in 2011 or 2012. And sometimes being in the right time and place is helpful. I appreciate that in your corporate presentation, you had this slide, which lays out pretty bluntly and clearly for people who are looking at silver names. Could you walk through exactly what they're getting in Defiance?
Absolutely. From my perspective, looking at it from the investment side, I'm a finance guy. I'm not a geologist or mining engineer. So really we got involved to make a return on investment for our investors. Our firm, Windermere Capital, is still the largest shareholder of the company. But when looking at it, we tried to boil it down to a few key points. And to start off, Defiance Silver has a very robust resource base. As I mentioned earlier, T'Pol has a 1.8 million ounce M&I gold resource, over 800 million pounds of copper. Both projects have a tremendous amount of upside, to be had through the drill bit, and we're actively doing that now. In 2019, we did a wholesale change on management and our technical team. We brought in Doug and the entire Warcrest group to work with us. These guys and gals have a very strong background, a lot of experience and proven track record working in Mexico. They've found a lot of ounces. They've built them up, built those projects up and sold them off. So that expertise and experience is there. The projects we have, you'll hear it often from a lot of companies, but our projects really truly are leveraged very nicely to the underlying commodity prices. Every $250 increase in the price of gold increases the after-tax NPV of our T'Pol project by more than $100 million US. And the upside on the Zacatecas resources is on the come with the drilling program. I think we're also from an investor or shareholder perspective in a unique or more unique situation than a lot of companies, in that we have our company, Windermere, and our fund still being a large cornerstone investor. We still own more than 25% of the company, along with insiders and other institutional shareholders. It gets you to about 40% of the outstanding shares. So very good cornerstone group of backers who have the long-term interest in the company at heart. And this really is, for all of us, about return on investment. And that lines up very well with what shareholders are looking for. And I think probably the most exciting part or interesting part about the story to me as an investor is that this is happening now. We have drill ready targets. We have more targets than we have meters in this drill program. It's fully funded. Results are on the come. We'll be getting a steady stream of news from the drill results, coming very soon and over an extended period of time. So from that perspective, I think everything lines up really well to for those people who want exposure to this sector. This is a company that probably should get a second look.
Yeah, and Chris, can you touch on the share structure, please?
Absolutely, yeah. 2020 really was a transformational year for Defiance. Everybody obviously had to deal with, going back a year from here, with the world being turned upside down, with the pandemic hitting it, and really, what we did is gave us an opportunity to take a step back and really do a complete self-analysis of our projects and develop those. The plan to move the company forward as best we could. Doug and the team did a fantastic job there, and it all sort of culminated in a financing that we closed in September of 2020, which was very well received by the market. We had gone out to raise $7 million with a $3 million green shoe. The deal was oversubscribed in a day. We raised $10 million. That closed in September. We actually had another $4 million come in through warrant exercises before the end of the year. So the treasury for the company is in very good shape, better shape than it's ever been in. The balance sheet is pristine. We now have about 198 million shares outstanding. And as I said, the work program, for the next 12 to 18 months is fully funded.
Yeah, and also nice to see that you did capture that leverage to the silver price. Obviously you have the company developments, but we see right here in the beginning of February coming off the highs. So that is something that I like to see there, where fine, I'll make my bet on silver, and it seems that the market is capturing that. Doug, before we wrap up, could you give us some highlights on the geological side and how folks can also get more information to find out any questions they have?
Absolutely, happy to. And I may bat out of my pay grade sometimes, and I encourage everybody to reach out to us if they have very specific geological questions. We have an excellent technical team that can really hone in on what you need to understand about this project. It's located in Zacatecas, Mexico, the largest silver producing state in Mexico. It's historically, this trend of silver has produced over 10% of the cumulative global silver production. We're 25 kilometers away from the world's largest primary silver mine. It's a historical billion-ounce silver camp, so we like to operate with the mantra that the best place to look for silver is where it is.
Yeah.
It's these projects are a variety of ownership. So we've got 100% owned, no NSRs, 100% option with option purchase NSR. And then most recently we purchased Pan American Silvers, or entered into an option agreement to purchase Pan American Silver's Zacatecas district land holdings, which tripled our land position in the district. Got a small starter resource, and we've been drilling out and really focused in on a 1,300 meter envelope of mineralization that we see can add potential both in an exploration but resource building target in the main project area. Base metals have never been tabled in the previous resource estimate. We know these are strong polymetallic systems. The state of Zacatecas has been in some way, or this project area has been some way, shape, or form of production for almost 500 years. So we leverage that with excellent infrastructure. We got a paved road to the property. We have power to the site. We have power going over top of some of our drill holes. There's a tremendous amount of historical mining infrastructure, a very skilled labor force coming from the towns of Beta Grande, Saucedo La Borda, Zacatecas, and Guadalupe. We're on strike with a very active resource development program up at Panuco, where we have the drilled on-strike extension of that deposit. We have exploration target. We have over 20 kilometers of veins of exploration targets in our land package, including a 4 kilometer vein, 4 kilometer wide, long, 12 meter wide vein called Palenque that's never been drilled, and at one point was Pan American Silver's top greenfields exploration project in Mexico. We're actively drilling, and we like to use the MO that this is like Fresnillo from the 1960s. Where in the 1960s, Fresnillo, 25 kilometers away, it was out of ore, and currently it's the world's largest primary silver mine. We know that discovery-focused geoscience works, and we're using a very skilled technical team to conduct that. We've got a fully funded exploration program. I suspect that we'll touch that 10,000 meter mark by the end of the year, and we're touching the 5,000 meter mark of that right now. So lots of good news coming out of that project. And as Chris said, that's not our only project in Mexico. We have the Hall asset as well, and it's a very different asset. We have 100% ownership of that asset. We recently entered into an option agreement to purchase 2.5%, or the 2.5% NSR off that. So clear path to total ownership of that asset. Located in Michoacan, a state that's not often on the map for mining. It's about 4.5 hours drive southwest of Guadalajara. Excellent infrastructure there, nearby to Mexico's largest concentrate shipping facility in Manzanillo. The gold copper project has really been looked at as a porphyry, which it's not. It's a intrusion-related structurally hosted gold system with a number of very high-grade targets. It's the pre-feasibility state, actually has a PEA done in 2017, 22% post-tax IRR on 1250 gold and 2.5% copper. And as Chris said, very strong leverage to the commodity underlying gold copper prices at $1,500 gold and $3 copper, our post-tax NPV of the project doubles. So we'd like to see these gold copper movement in this environment. It's a very attractive asset, especially with that option to acquire the MSR. A large 1.8 million ounce measured and indicated gold resource, an 813 million pound copper resource. And we have been advancing this project through very much the same way that we did the San Nicasio project, through desktop reintegration of the historical work, through targeting outside of using the pre-feasibility study, but looking at the geology and looking at the underlying mineral system, and then advancing that to developing targets that will advance over the next 12 to 18 months over at DePaul as well.
Well, I appreciate that, Doug. And last question for you, for everything that you covered, if people have questions, what is the best way? I'll put it up on the screen, but what's the best way to contact you guys?
Well, there's a very traditional way. You can phone us on the handheld device. You can contact us, email there, info@defiancesilver.com. As well, we're quite active on social media. Both is active and the reactive. We post a lot. We put a lot of really good industry information up on our Instagram, on our YouTube, and especially on our Twitter channels and our LinkedIn channels. We're very active every day. So if you're looking for inside information on what's going on behind the scenes in the industry, I really do encourage you to check us out on Twitter and LinkedIn. We're very responsive on there. Send us a direct message, or on all of our presentations that you can find online, there's contact information there. So I really do encourage you to reach out, all of your subscribers and viewers and anybody interested, and we're happy to get in touch and give you a full rundown of the company.
Well, I appreciate that. And all that contact information is also in the description field below. So Doug and Chris, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I appreciate your support of our show here and just trying to get good information about silver out to people. It's going to be an honor covering what you guys are doing. And I'll be hoping to see you down there in Mexico sooner than later. And we'll look forward to following your success.
Sounds great.
Excellent. Thank you, Chris.